agreed to undergo a series of psychological tests. They said the results would help to prove their innocence. And last week, a defense psychologist testified that the test results did not indicate any signs of deviant sexual tendencies. Well, today, Scott County Attorney Kathleen Morris brought in her own expert to rebut that earlier testimony. The prosecution psychologist, Dr. John Fowler, said trick questions on one of the tests showed the Bentzes had altered their answers to make a good impression. On the so-called faking good scale, Robert Bentz placed in the top 1% when measured against the rest of the population, an indication, in Fowler's words, that he simply wasn't telling the truth. Lois Bentz placed in the top 2%. Fowler said the built-in scale showed an immature, impulsive, high-risk-taking personality for Robert Bentz. His reading on Lois Bentz, overly cautious, very defensive, and unwilling to admit personal faults.
I think the key thing, though, is if you will, the faking to the good side, or trying to make an awfully good impression and unwilling to look at negative characteristics. I think anybody under a duress situation would often mask or be very, very defensive. This, though, is certainly defensive to the extreme in the one case of Mr. Bentz's profile.
And what he said at the end there was really an important point brought out by the defense during their cross-examination, and that is that it is not unusual for a person to be less than truthful in their answers to their tests when they have been charged with a serious crime. In fact, it's normal. And really what this all goes to prove is that it's going to be very difficult for a jury to come up with a verdict solely based upon scientific evidence or expert testimony. Paul and Diana?